So good morning, every one of you. So first, let me introduce myself. So this is Chandra. So I have almost like 11 plus years of relevant Pega experience. So using which I can give you completely in terms of Pega related stuff. Okay, so I'm like an LSA certified, and this particular, I'll be like an Pega trainer for you for this complete course and even for the next level of course, what we're calling it as Pega Mastery Program. As I told you, we will be having like two programs. One is like Pega regular program and the other one is Pega Mastery Program. The Mastery Program. Just give me one second. Okay. So this particular Pega regular program, so this we are considering it from zero to most advanced level in our Pega journey. Okay, and in this program, we'll consider you everything from basic level. We'll consider you that you don't know anything about Pega. And this Pega Mastery program is like most advanced one. So generally people already trained in Pega, or maybe people already working in some part of Pega projects, they will be enrolling for this program. And this basic program, it's not like basic, we call it as a regular program where we'll cover from zero to most advanced level, as I told you. And today, every one of you are like joining into this or looking into this Pega regular program. And duration of this program will be 4.5 months. So it's not like 4.5 months on an average, it will be 4.5 months where we'll be getting almost like 130 plus of live hour discussion. And sometimes it will be like 4 months and sometimes it will be like 5 months, depending upon the number of holidays or number of extra concepts what we'll handle. So average it will be like 4.5 months. And in this particular program or this course will be running from Monday to Friday. Okay. And timings of this will be like same 9 to 10 a.m. So today you guys like joined at 9 o'clock. Kada? So this will be available till 10 o'clock. So Monday to Friday. And we will be available on Saturdays also for mock interviews and something like project reviews and other stuff. So this program will run both online as well as offline. So you people, if you are staying near to our institute, so you know our institute is at Hyderabad, that is at JNTU location, near to JNTU. So if you guys are staying somewhere near to our location, so you can attend offline sessions and you can stay back completely for the practicing. And maybe if you are like could not attend daily live sessions once in Saturdays or once in your free time, if you want to come here and practice also, you can make it possible. And online guys, so you can attend a daily live session with the joining link what we're providing you, and you can call us for any type of doubts also. So that's not only during course duration and even after our course is completed, say after 2 years or 3 years also, generally people will call us and ask for any type of doubts from their real-time projects as well. So we'll support you maybe in terms of online prospect as well as offline prospect. And this particular course where we will make you to work on 4 real-time projects. And all the 4 projects will be shared from day one itself. Out of these 4 projects, one project is what I'll take care personally. So generally, in order to work on one single project will take almost like 4 to 5 months, meaning in this particular course duration. So completely one project is what we'll handle. That is from something from zero level to the most advanced level. And what about 3 projects, Sunday? These 3 projects will be shared from day one itself. You guys should practice these 3 projects parallelly based on the discussion what were happening in this project number 1. Okay. And there will be something like mock interviews once in 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, there will be mock interviews also, where we'll test you something like theoretically as well as practically. So many of you might be having experience in different streams, say from non-IT or maybe from a different stream of same IT sector. So what you guys will think is you wanted to showcase maybe 3 or 4 years of like Pega experience. So after our course is done, no doubt you will be having that capability to project yourself like 4 years and will help in the resume preparation. Now your expectation is that, but the reality how you are that I wanted to test it in terms of mock interviews. So once in 2 weeks, there will be kind of mock interviews and you guys should be utilizing these mock interviews properly. If you are not attending the mock interviews, maybe after our course is done, so overnight you cannot do any miracles in the real interview. So mock interviews are almost mandatory what you have to do from your end. And what about like these three projects ante? As I told you, these three projects you have to handle kada. So there will be project reviews once in 2 weeks. Okay, there will be person one-to-one project review session happening. So and so person. So we'll be checking his project number two, project number three, project number four also, whether he's following best standards or not. So just getting output is not the criteria, right? So whether you guys are following best approaches or not is what happening in the project reviews. So those sessions will be there. And generally, we will be having batches running in two different languages. So one will be like Telugu plus English mixed one, and the other one will be pure English. And it is already announced that this batch will be running in pure English. So maybe people from other states also are encouraged to join in this particular batch. Okay. And here in this particular project, there will be like Mm, there will be like hands-on related user stories also given. Say today one particular topic is completed on Conde. So we'll give you theory material for that. So practical material ante. So if today's class is completed, so you will be shared with recording. Along with that, you will be shared with a detailed PDF document of all the screenshots step by step what we practically do. So maybe after your classes are done, if you wanted to practice, you need not watch the complete video, right? You can just watch that document and follow that step-by-step approach. So practical screenshots, PDF document will be there. And for every topic, theory document will be there. And there will be extra hands-on user stories for every topic will be shared to you. So if you can practice all these things thoroughly, so no doubt you can be very strong where you can showcase minimum of 4 to 5 years of Pega experience. Generally, Chandra Trainings is fond of practical orientation. So we'll not just make anything more theoretical. Every topic will be more practical. If you just check with any of my past students, so the elaborative way we discuss and the extra assignments we give you, extra hands-on related things we give you, and our project related stuff. So if we can compare this practical discussion with any other resources, then or any other resources, this content will be very huge. So if you can practice all the things more practically, no doubt you can just survive getting a job even in this recession zone. Pega market, not even industry market is little dull. Despite that, if you learn something more practical and if you can manage like in 4 to 5 years of experience, you'll be strong in Pega. That's my challenge. Okay. So now coming to something called Pega Mastery Program. So this Pega Mastery Program is completely free of cost for the people who are enrolling for this current batch. And earlier, we used to give mastery program only for the eligible candidates. What do you mean by eligibility? So here in this initial program, generally we'll check whether candidate is having some basic things learned or not. Okay, but today this mastery program is completely free for all the candidates who are enrolling here. We are not checking for any criteria or eligibility. So once this course is completed, then this mastery program you can avail for free of cost and you can utilize this anytime in the future. It's not like that you have to take own immediately after your initial course is done. Maybe after your initial course is done, you'll get enough stuff, you'll join somewhere. Maybe if you're facing some challenges in your real-time projects, if you wanted to come to mastery program after 3 months or 6 months, not a problem. So this mastery program, you can utilize it completely at free of cost. And this mastery program, generally, you'll not get it anywhere. So this is more practical oriented. So if you can just attend this Pega mastery program, you learn everything more practically. It doesn't mean that you'll not get enough information here. So you'll get enough stuff even at this initial program also. This mastery program, it will be running only offline. So you guys should get your laptop and come to our institute. And this will be running only on Saturdays. Okay, so considering working guys, they cannot come daily to offline sessions, right? So we will be having this mastery program running on Saturdays only. So there are people who are traveling from other locations once for a week and they're getting enough stuff and going back. So the feedback what generally I get from people traveling from their end. So if they're not having enough confidence in managing their Pega project, they're trying to get support from the Pega guys where they're trying to get some job support there where they're paying almost like 50,000 per month or half the salary for that person. So even that person will not make him to learn completely. So it is like continued for 1 year or 2 years. Even after 2 years, so every month half salary is gone to him, but he's not getting enough knowledge. This person is not getting enough knowledge. So that is where they wanted to spend 2 or 3 months of time coming to Hyderabad or coming to our location. They're concentrating much on Pega Mastery program. Okay. And what about the guys who are not staying in Hyderabad or who are not staying in maybe Telangana or something in different states or different countries? Even you need not worry. You can happily enroll for our initial program. Our initial program earlier it was designed just like 80 hours. Now, as I told you, it will be sometimes between 130 to 150 hours also. So this duration I'm not focusing on. So this might be something affected with holidays and other stuff. But our live discussion will be 130 to 150 hours. So almost like 50-hour content is increased. What generally we do in Pega Mastery program, its related stuff is plugged in into our initial program also. So you need not worry that attending mastery program might not be possible at all. You need not worry on that. Maybe guys who are not staying in Hyderabad, that's what I'm saying. So if you're staying some part of US or anywhere, you can happily utilize this program and get enough stuff. That's my challenge. You can get enough stuff. So if you can manage working on all the projects, whatever we give you, or in the respect to class related discussions, say if today some topic is completed. So I'll give you some extra scenarios based on mastery program related things only. What generally we cover in mastery program, I'll give those related stuff here itself in terms of projects or extra user stories. So if you can attend this program completely in some systematic way, then you need not attend mastery program also. But anyway, for free of cost, we are giving it. You can utilize it in future whenever required. So here this program is like 99% weightage for you. So just try to focus on this. And here the advantage is we have both online plus offline for this, and we will be sharing like recording after every class. Say if you guys are enrolling today, so you may or you may not attend daily sessions due to some your other overlaps. Still, after the class, you'll be immediately given with some recording. You can watch the recording in your convenient time, and you can call me personally for any type of silly doubt also. So we'll try to help you through even screen sharing options as well. So you guys can share your screen and show me whatever the doubt you got. And if you are having any projects or any assignment related things, so screen sharing and the other easy options of helping you will be possible. So one-to-one personally, I'll be assisting you not only during course duration, even after course duration also I'll help you. So this is what first you have to clearly understand about our Pega programs. So every one of you clear for this discussion? Yes, right? Every one of you clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes. Okay, fine. So with this knowledge, now let's start something about our Pega regular program. So I'll explain you everything from zero. You need not worry anything about. Okay, so before we starting this program, many guys, okay, many of you will be having many questions in your mind. So like what Pega is. So what is like Pega market today? And using Pega, what generally we do. So how far it is different from our traditional coding technologies? Say, what is difference between Pega and .NET? What is difference between Pega? Maybe Java. Or you guys might be having something like non-IT experience. Are you really capable of learning this Pega? Will there be coding in this Pega or not? And something about certifications, something about recession effect on Pega. And you guys will say that I have a long career gap due to some business and other things. So is it really okay if I come to Pega related things or not? So all the general questions, whatever you are having, it will be cleared mostly in today's session, if not in tomorrow's session. So now let's start with our basic question, what Pega is. What is Pega and what Pega can help us? So how Pega can change our career. So you as a Pega developer, after joining some company, what you will do there? So what will be our day-to-day tasks? How business analyst will give us a requirement and how do we handle and how do we develop without coding? Okay, and how we just implement the background logic and how unit testing should happen, how it will to be deployed to maybe testing environment, and further how it is to be deployed to the production level. Everything is what we systematically understand. Okay, and in this particular duration we will be covering both Pega traditional concepts as well as Pega advanced concepts also. So in terms of advanced concepts, Ante, we are having something like cloud environment concepts like constellation part, maybe generative AI part, blueprint related things. So all these are like available in the latest versions of Pega, where these latest versions are used by just 20 to 30 percentage of projects today. And remaining are something like 70 percentage of projects are still running on the traditional design. But in future, the ratio will be vice versa. So that is the reason we are training you on both the traditional approach as well as the cloud concept related approach also. So that is where duration is like long. Okay, so almost like 4.5 hours. And in between, we'll take some Saturdays and Sundays also, which will be priorly intimated to you at least 1 week before. Okay, so as a whole, if you can complete this whole curriculum, no doubt you can survive in traditional projects as well as cloud related projects also. And after our course is completed, few guys will be going like an Pega developers, few guys will be going like an Pega administrators and Pega business analysts. So maybe like Pega architects, Pega sales, Pega marketing. So you should understand something job reach under Pega sector. So before we talking about that, first let's understand what Pega is. So here the simple answer for this is, so the very first question, what is Pega? ఇంతే కదా? So the simple answer for this is Pega is used for developing web applications. Very simple answer. Okay, so Pega is used for developing web applications. Generally, how a web application is designed? Generally, how do we develop an web application? So for that, so if you take any web application like Amazon, Amazon is one web application kada. So if we just hit like amazon.com, so you will be getting one UI design, right? Some UI design where images keep on scrolling and where you can see small images with buy now button or wish list button, whatever. So some UI design has to be there for a web application. And maybe if I click on buy now, what is like we are seeing under, say I can see something like extra details showing out. From where are we getting these extra details? So as soon as I do any action on UI part, it is no doubt to be consulting its backend. So here application, so we'll be having UI layer and backend layer. So backend can be a Java. And in some projects, say Flipkart project, there will be no doubt UI and backend might be .NET there. And you say you take Facebook application, front end will be same and backend will be maybe like Python. Okay, so the respect to UI page should be consulting its backend, and from there it must be reaching to their database, and finally it will be again taken back. So here to design one web application, generally there will be three layers. So UI layer or front end layer is what we call. Backend layer or business logic layer is what we call. and now database layer. So generally 3 layers will be there. So maybe you might be hearing something about like full stack development. What do you mean by full stack development? To design one web application, everything required is what you have to learn. You have to write HTML code for that. You have to write CSS code for that. And you have to write some scripting also. Scripting can be a traditional of JavaScript, or its libraries might be like React or maybe Angular or Backbone, whatever. All these constitute something kind of UI design. Okay. And coming to the backend part, so you should 100% know Java related things generally. Maybe in this project, you should 100% know .NET related designing and Python related coding. And in order to deal with something like database, so database will understand only SQL queries. Say today I'm like an developer in Amazon. So Amazon is having Java as its backend. And I have to do this Java in order to interact with this SQL. So for that, this database will understand only SQL queries. It will not understand Java. It will not understand Python or C Sharp anything. So here, using Pega, I need not learn anything about full stack, meaning I need not write one line of front end related design, and I need not write one line of scripting also. I need not write one line of Java code. I need not write one line of SQL query. So Pega is something an automated tool where I can design one web application by simply drag and dropping and achieving it. So here I need not have front-end knowledge or back-end knowledge or database knowledge. Everything required is already maintained in our Pega. And for your information, this is completely developed on Java in the background. It doesn't mean that you require Java knowledge here. So no coding knowledge is required. So without any prior technical experience, you can happily learn this Pega and generate some output applications. In interviews, they'll ask you, how do you manage this requirement? They'll not ask you to write some Java code for the respective requirement. So understood, right? So finally, Pega is one automated, or it's kind of full stack tool where it is power packed with front end related coding, back end related coding, and database related coding also. I did not learn any of these technical coding concepts, but I should learn how to get this required output. So let me quote one small example where you can easily understand. Suppose maybe in your family there is something like marriage running out unwanted, so you wanted to design one video for that. So what you will do, you'll go to some Photoshop, right, photo studio person. Consider I'm the photo studio person and you are my client. And here, based on your requirement, I'm trying to generate one graphical video. So for this, what are we trying to do? We are using one Photoshop software. So this Photoshop is one tool where internally it is having some front end part, back end part, database part. So I am like a developer developing a client requirement and giving one output. So here as a person, do I really know what is happening inside this? So do I know Java code here? So do I really require writing some HTML part or database part? No. So what are all the options ready made for me? I should be in a position to use those options. Even that is much logical, even that is much difficult. So using those options is also difficult, right? So here Pega is also one tool where internally it is having some hard coded part, but based on my client requirement, say city is my client. So city client will be having n number of requirements to be designed. Using this Pega, I'll try to get those output part. I will not deal with this boring internal coding. So finally, Pega has nothing to be done with your customized coding. You need not write one line of coding also. So finally, Pega is one automated tool where it is completely developed on Java. So clear with this statement, every one of you online, please respond.
Yes,
Yes, right?
sir.
Yes. So it is automated completely on Java. And coming to front end part. So if I ask you, front end is like common everywhere. Suppose you take Amazon application itself. Amazon lo there will be front end developed on HTML and CSS, right? And some JavaScript. And backend might be Java. And here backend might be say Flipkart project. Backend might be Python. And say Facebook project. Backend might be .NET. So there will be front end for all the projects. There will be database for all the projects. So in the world today, you take any project, so this backend alone will be changing. So front end everywhere it will be HTML and CSS only. And something maybe like Angular or maybe React, whatever it is, some part of JavaScript. Backend everywhere will be SQL. So we generally call this one and this one as universal, where every technology in the world can understand this HTML, where every technology in the world can generate one SQL query. Okay, so today you take any tool which is automating ante, so it will be having automated Java ante. Or you take any other tool where it might be having automated with the .NET. So consider Pega is one automated tool based on Java kada. So So, did you guys came across anything called out systems? Chapandi? Did you
Yes,
guys
sir.
came across anything like out systems tool? Yes, right. So this out system is also one tool similar to Pega, but out system is completely developed on .NET. So Pega is completely developed on Java. So this problem with this .NET here is it will not be working on all the operating systems, but Java does. So Java can be working on any platform. So finally, any of the tool which is developed on Java will be working on cross platforms. So Pega is not introduced anything in the recent past. So many of you will be thinking like Pega might be something uh, coming into picture from past 3 years or 4 years. Not like that. So Pega is like available maybe from 1980s only, almost like 30 years back. So initially, when this Pega is introduced, so they have developed everything backend with C sharp. Later, they realized if something is automated other than Java, so it is not working on every platform. Slowly, they changed everything background to Java. So finally, this is one automated Java tool where it will work on any type of operating systems. Okay. So today, if you are working as a, suppose after our course is completely done, what you'll do? So you'll try to join some company like TCS and Content. So after you joining here, they might be putting you maybe bench for 1 week. After which you will be joining some client, right? Say city is your client. And this city client will give you some requirements to design UI part. So you'll simply drag and drop. So whenever I'm drag and dropping, then background HTML code, CSS and scripting part is auto generated. Now this client will say that I don't want to go with this inbuilt JavaScript. So can we have this updated with some React JS or Angular JS? Yes, it is possible. Meaning Pega as a tool which is supporting some extra customizations also. And if I wanted to write some extra HTML or extra CSS or extra scripting part, or if I wanted to write my own Java code, or if I wanted to write my own SQL query, everything is even possible. So Pega is like generating all these things. 99% we can go with that approach. In some rare scenarios, it is even allowing us to go for customization of any of these three layers. In interviews, 99% they will not ask you about customization. But if you are going like an Pega well experienced, say 7 years of or 8 years of Pega experienced, there they will ask you, did you get any experience working on customized Java coding? On what scenario you write your own Java, you wrote your Java code, or on what scenarios you executed your own SQL queries? So they might ask you something about customization part in some rare scenarios. What might be those rare scenarios? Ante? Today, Pega is having some version number, right? So no doubt in the past it will be having some older versions. No doubt latest versions will be having more automation compared to the past versions. So say if my project started somewhere around 10 years back. So say 2015 lo our project started on content. So we will be taking Pega license by that time, whatever the latest kada. And no doubt after 10 years today, version number will be something more and features also will be more. So if my project is well established in the older versions, which is on or which is older version, and my management might have achieved some requirements there by writing some Java code where there might not be automation by that time what today we are having, right? So they might be having some customized Java code. So if they are planning to upgrade from older version to the latest version, so we are already having inbuilt Java code as the latest feature for those requirements today. And the older what you have already written has to be minimized. So during upgradation of older to the latest one, their interviewer might ask you something like Java knowledge also. If you simply say like that, I did not work on any upgradation projects, so no worries at all. So 99 percentage, if they're asking you whether you have Java knowledge or whether you have so and so manual coding knowledge, and you can straight away say that my project is still running. My project is running on the latest versions today, where I don't get a chance to write any of the customization part. That is one valid and accepted statement. You need not worry much on that. Okay, fine. So this is what you have to first understand. So finally, on a quick glimpse, so you should know Pega is not having any technicals. You should not write any coding related stuff in Pega part. So clear, right, everyone? Following, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So finally, Pega is used to develop any application. And as I told you, as part of traditional design, we have to write this HTML part, maybe some kind of Java and some kind of SQL related. But here, Pega is one automated Java tool. Everything related is like automation done. So here, Pega is having background Java and it is using latest HTML5 things today. And we'll be having completely background Java automation also done. Fine. So today, after you joining some company, say TCS, you'll be assigned to some client, right? Now you are supposed to work on your client requirements. Your client is asking you to design one UI page. To design some UI page, what you'll do, you'll simply drag and drop all the things. So generally, the UI page, whatever you are saying, so this initially your business analyst will give you. Okay, so my business analyst will give me one mock-up. We call this as mock-up. So based on which I have to first understand how many elements are there, how many images are there, how many videos are there, and how many buttons are there. Everything I have to first analyze. And based on which I have to drag and drop and arrange, right? So most of you at this point of time, you guys will think about. So Pega is one easy tool, okay, which is not at all correct. Don't think Pega as easy. Don't take it as granted. So Pega is like equally tough compared to any other traditional design. Suppose if the same requirement has to be done in the traditional approach, I think, what you'll do? So you'll try to write HTML coding. Manually, you have to write coding. And then you have to write Java coding. And then you have to write SQL coding. But now with the Pega, you need not write coding at all. But the complexity will be more or less same. So you have to understand more logically. Suppose if I give you one Photoshop software, and if I just explain about Photoshop software maybe for 1 or 2 days, can you get the same output? No. So you should understand what is internal logic maintained with what option. So Pega is not that easy. But compared to any other thing, Pega is easy. So again, I'm repeating. So Pega is not that simple. Compare to you compare this with Pega. Sorry, you compare this with Java. You compare this with Python. Compared to any other thing, this is easy. Okay, so if you just compare with CRM, you know Salesforce, right? Salesforce is also one tool where it will be having some backend language, backend technologies automated, no doubt. But in Salesforce, you have to write extra code, lot of coding. But in Pega, you need not write one line of coding also, but it will be logically difficult. So I have to think more logical. So for that, you have to do lot of practice, a lot. So that is where we are concentrating much on more projects and Pega related assignments and user stories. So that is where our course duration will be more compared to any other general courses. So you have to learn more practically. Okay, coming back to this example. Today, as a developer, I have to design this UI screen. Now, in this particular UI screen, generally whatever you are seeing, we will generally call it as UI elements. Okay, whatever you are seeing, we call this as UI elements. So within this UI elements, there will be again two types. So that is data capturing elements and something like data display elements. Okay, so you should understand what is data capturing, what is data display. So you can see a small image, right? So this image is just meant for something like showcasing. And maybe you can see something like first name. So during Amazon registration, consider this as your Amazon registration page. So will you not see one Amazon logo there? Yes. And it will ask you for your first name. If you are entering your first name, so no doubt whenever you click on submit button in the backend database table, so whatever the value you entered, say Chandra, so that must be stored here, right? So this particular UI element is capturing something. So we should consider it as data capturing element. So this is data capturing, this is data capturing, this is data capturing, this is capturing something, this is capturing something. So this is not capturing anything. So if I click on this, I'll get some information. Say your Aadhaar card formatted should be in this way. Ante. It is not capturing anything there, right? So button is also not capturing. So here this image or maybe video or maybe these buttons, we will be considering them as data displaying elements. And any other thing which is capturing customer data, we call it as data capturing elements. Now, if my requirement is to design one web page, I should understand how many data displaying part, how many data capturing part. Say if I'm having 10 capturing elements, no doubt after I clicking on submit button, these 10 things, whatever I entered should be stored into database table as those many columns. Am I correct? Say reference ID as one column, say 1234 as my reference number, first name, last name, age, mobile number, whatever we are entering, it must be maintained into database table only. So every capturing element should have one column maintained into database table. Will everyone agree with this? Yes, right.
Yes,
Yes or
Chandra.
no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so again, I'm repeating. So if you are a requirement to design one UI page, don't simply think about drag and dropping. Okay, no doubt drag and dropping will be there, but along with that, it will be connected to backend Java and it should be further connected to database part also. So if an user is clicking on submit button, this data capturing element should be stored somewhere. Somewhere at a database is the only reference. So here out of maybe 15 elements, 10 are meant for capturing. No doubt in my database table, 10 columns must be there. So simple drag and dropping ante, you should even take care of creating a new column into its respective database table. So how many things you are drag and dropping, those many columns must be maintained. Fine. And now, as soon as I click on submit button, whole data has to be stored into individual columns. So a database dealing will be done only with SQL queries. Meaning on click of submit button, no doubt there must be SQL query running out. SQL query should automatically run. So this value should be available here. This value should be available here. And even client requirements sometimes will be don't directly maintain the data into this database tables. Instead, make it as encrypted under. Suppose if I'm like a production support person working in Citibank, consider I'm a production support person working in Citibank. So for that, I will be given complete production server access, right? Okay, maybe if I'm given with the database access also, so I can see complete customer data. Okay, I can see your mobile number if you're a customer there. So I can see your mobile number, maybe your PAN card number, your maybe generated OTPs, CVV, whatever it is. So all the sensitive information might be something like visible for a normal person, right? Which is not correct. So here in Pega project, there might be something as when you click on submit button, whole data must be stored into database table and it must be hidden or it must be encrypted. So once data is encrypted, maybe further we want this for reporting. What do you mean by reporting? Suppose if I'm like a salesperson in Amazon, okay, so my duty is to check how many new registrations are happening per day. So what I have to do, we are supposed to check into database table and get the data pulled out in terms of reporting, right? In terms of reporting, suppose I'm like a credit card manager in Citibank. My duty ended. So how many credit cards are being issued daily? How many are approved? How many are cancelled? So why business is dull today? Or how we have to improve things for tomorrow. So every time a business prospective, okay, a sales prospective is to check for the statistics. If complete data is stored into database table in encrypted mode, so maybe for reporting, we have to get the raw data from table and show it some pictorial form like pie chart or bar graphs or line graphs, right? So this encrypted mode should again be decrypted and it must be converted into readable language and it must be maintained in some pictorial mode. So how to implement all these things? So in this whole journey or in this whole requirement, maybe from forward to backward or vice versa, you need not write one line of SQL query. You need not do anything about like encryption, decryption or vice versa. And you need not write one line of Java code also, but still everything will be automatically done. So you as a developer should understand the process. So what I have to do from step 1 to step 2, step 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5 and backwards. So understanding this step by step approach is also a challenge. That is where we have to spend minimum of 4 to 5 months on learning all these things. So that is where I told you. So Pega is one automated and very big tool. So you take any other tools, it will be like small compared to Pega. But Pega is one very big integrated tool. So where everything in terms of front end, back end, Java part or reporting part or deployment part or versioning part, whatever it is, you name anything. So everything required for a complete project closure. So it is inbuilt in Pega. It is inbuilt in Pega. So understanding step by step of everything is like more lengthy. So don't simply think about designing UI and drag and dropping and go. So drag and dropping is also part of it. So suppose, so if I give you this requirement, so what simply you'll think? You'll think there are almost like 15 elements. I'll drag and drop and take it. But here the challenge is what you'll face is generally, if you are drag and dropping something into our Pega screen, everything will be occupying 100 percentage. If I drag and drop, it will take 100% space. If I drag and drop one more video, it will take 100% space. Everything will show one below
Yeah.
another. But now I wanted to make this UI element occupying 20 percentage only. And I want this to be maintained 25 percentage only just below that. And in the remaining 80 percentage, so we are supposed to show something like personal details, maybe with some arrow and an icon for this header where it must be collapsible. So if I click on collapse or maybe if it is expanded, so I can see maybe this one occupying 50 percentage of the remaining space and this also 50 percentage. And here I can see something element occupying 33 percentage only. Okay, so here the big challenge here is you are supposed to take care of percentages. అవునా కదా? You have to take care of percentage width for everything. Second thing, we have to take care of something like styling part also. So you can see this complete thing with some light blue color. Am I correct? And this background is something like white color. And this header is having something like again dark blue color. So styling part. And sometimes client requirement will be to increase space between these two things. Maybe something like increasing space between these two things. How to go for padding, how to go for margin styles applicable, everything we have to take care. And the next challenge is here we have to take care of validation part. Suppose if I enter 123 as the first name, correct? No. If I'm entering 500 as the age, correct? No. So we have to take care of validation part. So generally validations will be of two types. Client side validation, server side validation. Okay, so I'll just ask you two examples. Maybe if you guys have some knowledge. So you just tell me what type of validation it might be. So this is my Pega login page. Okay, don't overthink about how are we getting this page and other stuff. So I'm supposed to log in, right? So we have to create IDs for you. So maybe if I'm trying to log in with some dummy thing, so will it really accept and take me to the next screen? No, right? It is saying like something wrong. On click of submit button, it is checking in the database table whether ID and password is correct or not. Since it is invalid, it is throwing some error saying like this is not correct. So this is something like validation error. This is something like error message what we are getting. Now, if I ask you what type of error it is it client or server? What is your answer?
Server.
Server.
Server. Okay. What do you mean by client and suppose here I'm entering first name as 123. So here it is checking whether this is alphabets or not. If I enter it as ABC, I'll not get any error, right? If I'm entering it as 123, it is throwing error. So whatever the value I entered, it is just checking whether this is of correct format or not. It is not taking table as the reference in this case. So here, if it is just taking something UI part as the reference, we call it as client side validation. Maybe if it is supposed to go in the backend and check for the database table and come back, it will consider it as server side validation. Suppose during registration, this is my registration page, right? So if I enter mobile number as this, if I click on submit button, what will happen? So backend database table under mobile number column. So my mobile number will be there and it will be showing registered. Okay. After that, after registration, generally what will have? Login page. Kadam. So there, if I'm trying to enter a different mobile number, it will say like this is not registered. So it is every time checking backend table as the reference for that. So in that type of scenarios, we call it as server side validations. Okay. Now, in order to design with UI part, you have to take care of validations part. Okay, Inka. And you should know interacting with some backend logic. So I'll simply take one button. So submit or register on it. If I click on this button, what should happen? So we want this complete data to be pushed backward, right? Meaning some kind of backend logic must be there and some kind of database SQL queries must be auto executed. And if required, I wanted to store this data into a different application also. Say today you are joining in TCS and I am your HR. Okay, I'm your HR. So you will be sharing all your details during onboarding process, right? So after we collecting all the data, if I click on submit, this data will be stored into TCS database, no thing. Along with that, the same data will be pushed into third party insurance application also. So from day one, you will be applicable with health insurance also, right? So TCS is tied up with some third party insurance company, say Medi Assist. So you are not physically going to Medi Assist. You are not carrying your ID card and saying like I'm a TCS employee. Please include my details in your database. This is not your asking. So when HR is submitting something, it is happening. There are like two things happening. One is to store the data in their internal database table, and the other one is to store the data into external database table, meaning SQL query for that and SQL query for this. Both should happen. For that, you need not write any SQL query, even for external tables. So that is not in Pega's range, right? Our TCS application is developed on Pega. So here we have a database outside of our Pega server. Still, there will be SQL queries, but we need not write any query physically. everything. It might be for internal or external, Pega will take care. So this is what every one of you should understand. So simply designing UI part and don't take it as granted. You have to even understand from beginning to the end. So it might be even till backend database table also. So storing the data into the backend database, if required, encryption and decryption, masking, obfuscation, what we call technical. I'll talk about all these things slowly. For now, I'm just giving you one line of statement for every small requirements. Okay, fine. Suppose, let me log in and show you. I'll just log in into some other applications. So you don't worry, how are we getting this login page? How are we getting this ID and password? So hope everyone of you clear so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Tara? Yeah. So let me show you one small thing. Okay, so here I can see one small image. Okay, and I can see some information below. Suppose if my requirement is just below this image, we are supposed to show a button. Okay, that's my requirement. So this is very simple. In fact, it should not take more than 2 minutes of our time. But if we are doing it in the traditional approach and traditionally, if you are writing HTML coding, it will take minimum of 10 minutes time for it. You have to write one line of HTML code for that. And if required, you have to add some CSS attributes in terms of stylings. But in Pega, I can simply do this by drag and dropping. Say, so I'm just drag and dropping something called button. So you can see a button dragged and dropped, right? I'm just saving it. Just now, refresh this output and see. So how fast you got the data? Yes, right? And this is just till UI part only. Now, if I want this button something to be displayed to the center, or if I want this border, whatever outline you are seeing, if I want it in red color, okay, or if I click on this, if I wanted to get a pop-up, or if I click on this, I want this to be triggering an email in the backend, or on click of this button, I want the complete information to be archived into a third-party table, whatever it is. You save any of your backend requirements, everything can be done in Pega without you writing any coding. So finally, I mean to say for any type of UI part, drag and dropping is inbuilt. Mostly 99% drag and drop is inbuilt. UI part is completely automated. And no doubt UI part should be 100% connected to backend, right? So backend requirements ante it might be and storing, it might be and sending an email, or it might be storing the data into third-party tables, whatever it is. We are having predefined Java code ready for every of our tasks. Predefined Java code ready. So now you should understand what is that predefined Java code and how to use it and how to achieve a requirement. So you understood, right? So UI part is pretty simple, but linking the same with backend is little challenge. Okay. So after maybe your client, your business analyst is giving a single screen like this, Ankuntuna. After UI part is done, generally the backend requirements, how it will be ante, backend requirements, how it will be. On click of this button, so there might be an email triggering, or there might be something about like storing into database or external database or something like a reporting related part, whatever it is. So for all these things, as I told you, Java code is ready. Now I'll show you small Java code for email triggering part. So we are having something predefined Java code, which is with the name send email notification. Okay, so this is something predefined. Now, whatever the respect to Java code required for sending an email, that is predefined. So can you see this complete Java code here? So can you see this? So in order to send an email, this much of Java code is what you have to write, but we are having everything inbuilt now. And I need not bother about what this Java code is. So I'm just supposed to take care of calling this particular part on this button click. Okay, I have to drag and drop a button, right? On click of this button, whatever predefined Java code, so I have to call its name. And and for that, I have to pass this entered email address as the parameter. Okay, so there must be two addresses, right? The entered email address should be passed as a parameter. That's it. So you should know what is like predefined Java ready and how to use, where to use. Even that itself is like some challenge. So you have to understand everything on practice only. So likewise, what will be the respect to Java code for running an SQL query automatically? So what will be predefined Java code for this exercise? What will be predefined Java code for that requirement, this requirement? For every of the backend requirements, Java code is ready. Now, based on this, I'm asking you one recap question. How to send an email in Pega? Anyone? Just answer me based on your understanding. How to send email in Pega? This is what they'll ask in an interview. They'll not give you pen and paper to write Java code for sending an email. So they'll ask you, my requirement is about designing a screen where on click of this email must be triggered. What you will do for email triggering? That is what I'm asking you simply. So what we just learned now, tell me that name.
By using send an email notification.
We
Send
call
Email
send an email
notification.
notification activity.
So we are having something called send email
Send
notification.
email note.
And here itself, I'm giving you one more answer. So generally to send emails in Pega, we're having two different things. So one is send email notification, what you will remember till our course and no doubt, because we're discussing it in the day one itself, right? And along with which there will be one more similar thing, which is with the name send simple email. Okay, so you have to remember these two names. So where we'll be having predefined Java code. So when you'll go with this approach or when you'll go with this approach, you have to know. Okay, since we are in this discussion, let me add one line of statement even for these two things. So send email notification will be used if I wanted to send generally bulk emails. Okay, and this we generally use if we wanted to send only during customer registration. So I'm just giving you examples based on our today's discussion only. Okay. So I'm not using more technical stuff today. So here, one small example. Today, if you go for a bank and you are going for some credit card registration on contact. What is happening? If I'm a bank employee, one registration process is happening for you. During that process, you'll get an email, right? Thank you for new credit card registration. Your reference ID is. And this email will be triggered only for the persons who are registering. It's not for all the persons, right? Individually, how many times registrations are happening, those many individual emails will be triggered. Now, maybe midnight 12 o'clock, we all will get an email from the bank saying like, please use our credit card for Amazon offers and get 10% discount. So that email is triggered for every one of us in the database, right? So if I wanted to go for such bulk email triggering part, we will use this one. Maybe if it is about like individual flow or individual process, then we'll go for this approach. So this statement is what you'll understand, but in future I'll talk more technical about what correspondence and other stuff. So if I wanted to loop one correspondence, then we have to follow one approach, if not another approach. You'll not understand that statement today itself. Okay. So tomorrow I'll ask you these questions for recapping. So you should say send email notification and send simple email for triggering emails. When I ask you when you'll use this or when you'll use this, you have to answer. Okay, no? So finally, we are understanding Pega will be having front end part, back end part, Java part completely automated. Now, uh, in fact, in fact, if you look at any particular client, say city is one client. Okay, I'll talk about this tomorrow. So generally, Pega is used by all type of clients today. all the banking clients, all the insurance related clients, and all the retail related, maybe e-commerce or government related sectors, whatever it is. So Pega is used in each and every domain today. So you join some company, there you will be working on Citibank projects or Bank of America projects or HSBC projects, okay? Or maybe you will be working on something like Bupa insurances, Apollo insurances. So insurance related, maybe something like retail, e-commerce, or even petroleum related. So Pega is doing its automation tasks in every sector. So our major focus is on learning these Pega concepts. If you learn Pega internal concepts, you can understand working on any project. So getting domain knowledge is not that important. You will get it anyway. But getting technical Pega knowledge is very, very important. So we are majorly focusing on this. And along with that, we are working on banking project, insurance project, and healthcare projects also. So important domains is also what we are covering. Okay, so from today, next 4.5 months of our journey, if you are following everything, whatever I'm asking you to do, so 100% you can survive any part of this Pega world. So you can join like an Pega production support guy or Pega developer or Pega business analyst, whatever it is. Okay. So we'll continue things tomorrow. So today we just understood something about like what Pega is. Okay. Fine. So hope everyone of you clear, right? So
Yes,
maybe
sir.
after tomorrow's class, so tomorrow we'll complete this PowerPoint presentation. After tomorrow's class, whatever the doubt you still having in your mind, like certifications and other stuff, everything will be clear. And even if you wanted to talk to me personally, you can call on the same number. So just for your information, every one of you might be having this number. So you generally getting WhatsApp messages, right? In WhatsApp. So this is our number. And maybe if you are not having this number, you can just make a note and just drop a message also. So today's class recording and this particular PPT and maybe document for today, there is nothing like, okay, document also will be there. So all these things will be shared in our WhatsApp community. So every one of you, hope you are added to WhatsApp community, right? So if not, please drop a message on this number now itself. So please add me to WhatsApp community. So attended demo. So please add me to WhatsApp community. So every detail will be shared in this community only. So initially you might be getting updates individually, but now from now onwards, everything will be shared in this community itself. Okay. So if you wanted to talk to me personally, you can call on this number. So clear, right, everyone? So
Chandra garu,
requesting
small
one
doubt.
of you tomorrow also to attend with the same joining link. చెప్పండి
Hello,
ఏంటో?
Chandra, which version of Pega are you using further?
Okay, so as I told you, so we will be working on both traditional course as well as the advanced. So version 25 concepts is what we will cover. Okay, and even many projects are still running on the traditional approach, that is 8.7. So we'll be covering both the versions in this Pega course. Got it?
Okay. And what about the Pega UI? AI, sorry.
So 25 version అంతా అదే కదా. So there will be Gen AI part. Okay.
Okay.
And there will be like constellation part. So blueprints even. So 25 concepts, cloud concepts will be everything covered. And even here also everything will be covered. Got it?
Okay. And now basically we are using the 8.7. After that, some advanced concept, then we are go for a 25 version, or else from the starting onwards, we're going for a Pega 25 version.
Okay, so if we are generally this version 25, so there is no personal download software available. You might
Yes,
be
yes.
knowing that.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so in order to work on this particular latest concepts, we are supposed to do it on the cloud environment. So this cloud environment can be accessible only for 45 days from day one of our registration. So that is where we don't want to do anything initially on this one. So we will be first initially concentrating on this part. So you'll be understanding core Pega functionality. Maybe after 2 months of our journey, so we will be having leads registration and this 45 days of this will be done, and parallelly we will be having this also. Okay, and initially we'll not do anything on this cloud part. You will not directly understand this cloud concepts without you understanding the traditional part, right? Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So clear, right, everyone? Good to close, right?
Yes, Chandra.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you.
Thank you.